Pleasant good morning to you one and all. Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday, happy midweek. Welcome to today's episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Today is Wednesday, the 18th day of December 2024. We are 1 week away from Christmas. What's 1 week? Next Wednesday, it will be Christmas. I guess by now, you would have had your pepper pot or your garlic pork or whatever else, your garlic beef or garlic mutton and all of that. So welcome to today's episode. Another great day that the Lord has made. Let's rejoice and be glad in it. Let's give praise and thanks for being in the land of the living. Many persons have not been this fortunate. It's a privilege and a blessing to see this new day. It's a privilege and a blessing for us to meet here, for you to come to hear this credible, valuable information. It is indeed a privilege. And as I've said, we will continue to come here and to give you the information that you need. We're going to do all the analysis, right? The statement analysis. We're going to debunk all of this crap that they're talking. So, yeah, welcome. And it is always a pleasure to see so many students in the schoolyard. This morning, the program was scheduled a little later than usual, just after 7 o'clock. And the reason being, I was busy on the computer doing some work, doing some research, and the time flew by. I didn't even realize that 7 o'clock had passed until my wife advised me, you're not going live? I said, oh, shucks, 7 o'clock already. I didn't realize it. These women are invaluable. On Monday, CC said he got mixed up with the time, and his wife had to say, where? You're not on the live? And then he realized that he was not there because of a mix-up with the time, and he came on, and we were able to do the program. But he's already in the studio this morning. I reminded him yesterday of the timing, and he's here waiting and ready to bring you the credible, valuable information. As is usual, we have so much to tell you this morning, so much to tell you. We're going to go into it after the usual roll call and the announcement. I had a little gap last night with a friend, and he talking about the roll call. I said, what is the routine? For example, I said, we don't want to go into the main event when we don't have a large number of students in the classroom, right? So maybe if you were to come into the classroom earlier, then we're going to be able to get into the meat earlier than usual. And as I made the point, we are both teachers. We were taught methods of instructions. I don't start a subject right away. You have to do what they call icebreaker, and you get into it, you relax the student, and then before you move into it, you got to get a little foreplay, man. You can't be no caveman. So understand that. Yeah. So here we are. And as I said, as soon as the program was scheduled this morning, because I suspect that because it was scheduled a few minutes later than usual, whoop, we see people in the schoolyard right away. And we welcome you. We know at this time of the year, 1 week before Christmas, you have a lot to do. And the fact that you have found the time to be here to hear this credible information is encouraging. We are encouraging, and we are going to continue to bring you information. Yes, another day that the Lord has made. Share the live. We encourage you to share the live and let people know that we're on. The regulars know, the regulars, but you got to reach out to others, because ever so often people are telling me that somebody just told them about this program and they tuning in and to make sure they want the live, because they said nothing can substitute for the live. Because by the time you go back in the afternoon or anytime after the live, then you don't get to make comments and so on. So people want to be able to see the live so they can participate and they can make their comments and so on. And I have to apologize to many of you who make comments. Sometimes you make comments, you ask a question, and I don't respond. And that is the reason being, I don't read the comments all the time. When there's a pause, for example, when CC is on, I might glance at the comments, and if there's something worthy of response, I will do so. But most of the time, what I do when the program is finished, then I go and I look at the response. Because, on one occasion, the Ethnic Relation Commission actually said a comment was ethnically insensitive. And so what I would do when I go, you have expletives, and I will remove those comments. I will attempt to do that as quickly as possible, remove. So I don't normally look through all the comments while the program is on. So if you ask a question and it is not answered there and then, forgive me. But what I do too is that if questions are asked, I will make a note. So in the next program, I will seek to address those coming. So yeah, that's it. So let me go quickly with the roll call. Again, we have a lot of students in the schoolyard. So I'll have to hustle and run through this before we get started. We have to run through. So the first person, well, several students came in at 7:07, headed by the man from the hills, Barlett, then Tessa from Florida, Aubrey from Canada, J.K. from Maryland, Charlene is here, Kenneth from Maryland is here, Trotty. Then after Trotty, it was Evelyn. Then Connor Rookman is here. All those persons that they just called came in at 7:07, followed by Winston from California. Sean, good to see you back in New York. Hope you enjoyed your vacation in Peru. Marcia, Audrey, Dexter is in the house. Wayne from the UK, Leon, Vibert, Isabella, Anthony, Magnell, Clarence, Felicia, Brian, my squad mate Carlton is here with us. Patricia G from New Jersey. Lynette from the UK is here. Fergus is here with us. Earl, Courtney, Lyndon, and he's from the British Virgin Islands. You see people from all over, British Virgin Islands. Dexter came back to say that we got to talk about the NIS pension because market prices are going up and our pension can't withstand the high prices. That's so true, my brother, so true. Rhonda is here. Rhonda. Raul is with us. Puran from Essequibo Coast. Rosalind. Michael. I got to always pause a bit when Michael is here today. Y'all see that Michael is all the way from Region 7. In Bambadai in Region 7. He's here with us. Welcome. Denise she's in GT right now. She normally tuned in from Florida. She's now in duty. Gaston, my squad mate from Canada. Ulrich, West Dem. Felicia, Danielle, Linden, Evelyn, Wayne is here. Aileen blows again, girl, blows. I know you're grieving. Aileen, Jacko, and Cece, all them grieving. Blows in your clothes, man, blows. Emerson, Carl from my squad mate, Carl from Arizona. Queenie is here. Terrence, TK, I know this is Terrence Young. This is Terrence Young from Canada, 9795. Pastor Smith, Dion, John, and my squad mate come back to say he's disappointed that so many people in and you don't have the thumbs up. Same thing. Right now we have over 500 on the live and about 21 thumbs up. Yeah, I gotta give you a thumbs up, man. Clifton from Paris is here. The original black man, Dwayne, Ezzy, Keith. Keith say he enjoying. I think he down in GT to enjoy his Christmas. Como is here, 8218. He likewise. Sandra, Diane, BX, good to see you in schoolyard, man. Good to see that you were in the schoolyard. Janella, Jacko, Kerry, Carl. Then we have Barbara. Marlon is here. Diane, Grace is here. Francis Keith. TK is here from California. Then it is David, Caldera, Floyd, Vibert, Rohan. Then it is Clive from the UK, Hazel. Danny is here with us. This thing not scrolling, so let me scroll you. Hazel. Danny, after Danny is Patricia, Marcus, Siobhan, Princess Earl from Lamar Springs. Simo is with us. Princess came back. Vibert, Smitty is here. Then it is Clay, Maureen, Colin, Stanford, Brenda, Nicola, Lorraine, the secretary, Denise, Orette, Mary, Cecile, Amanda, Lucius from Maryland is here. Annette, Lyndon, Sean is here with us too. This is Maxwell, Karen, Dorette, George, Heather is here. Boo is here. Grantley, Michelle, Joan, Rennie. Good to see you on Squaddy. Rennie, 9521, my squad mate Ines is here. Umi, Kevin, Peter, Bart, Moses, Rhonda, then I'm still in the house. Ovid, Winslow, R. Crawford, Rawl, Brennan, Desiree, Monica, Nigel, Wendy, Morton, Jonas, Doreen, Everett. Then it's Melinda. I know it's not Melinda, but her husband using her phone. Marva, Anthony. Then it was David, Wenda, Sandrine Baird, Carlisle. Prem Prasad is here with us, Lorraine. And after Lorraine, it is K-Man, Ainsworth, Vernon, Malcolm, Troy, then Bonita, Colin from New Jersey, Pastor Ari is here, Trevor, Harold, Michael Brower from the British Virgin Islands is here. Then it was Roy, Eric, Roxanne, John, Norbert, V. John, Marcus, Pauline, Albert. Then it was Stefan, Kwame. Wanda is with Kwame though. I see a Kwame. Wanda is with Kwame. Come forward to advance to be recognized. Kwame, advance to be recognized. Raul, Cello is here. Vorlin, Denise came back. Mark. After Mark, it's a Father. What Father Masha? The Father Masha. Melissa, Lester, Corinne, Linden. Then it is Gordon, Henrik, Marlin, Orin from the UK, Gordon from California. Then it was Pauline, another Pauline, Polydor, Claudius, Ulrich, my squad mate from Barbados. He said he's just back from the doctor. I hope everything is well. My friend, Claude, the man Claude, 9342, I think was the number. Claude. Then Marlon, Leroy, Mandela, Lyndon, the man Bread, Desiree, Sherwin, Ezla, Lokesh is here, Johnny, and the last in the schoolyard was Edna. Then we had Sister Trifosa, Rosie Rose, Lynette from Barbados, Tean, Colin, the man Popo is here. Then we have Cecile, 14101. Then we had Faith Dover, Joy Prince, and the list goes on and on and on. Again, to show you the enthusiasm and the number of students that we have in the classroom at any given time. In the schoolyard, then we have it there. Now, let me give you the quick announcements, and then we're going to move in. Now, we announced the last day, a couple of days, we announced the death of Detective Sergeant Philip Walters, 11/9/10. He died, I think, on the 10th of December, and the funeral will be on Saturday, December the 24th for Virginia. Viewing at his residence, Virginia Old Road, from 12:30 p.m. Service will be at the AME Church, Virginia, from 2 p.m., and burial will be at the Virginia Cemetery. That's Walters, retired Detective Sergeant Walters. And we also sadly announced the death of Calvin Burnett, former member of the force, former national cricketer, 1920 CC Squaddy. I got information this morning that Calvin will be buried on Friday, December the 20th in Tennessee, USA. And they say that the viewing will be on Thursday, the day before, from 6 p.m. at Island Vibes, which is 1316 Antioch Pike, Nashville, Tennessee. And the celebration of his life will be the next day, December the 20th, from 3 p.m. at Mount Gilead Missionary Baptist Church, and that is also in Tennessee. I asked if there is going to be a Zoom, because I know people can inquire, want to see, and I understand that, yes, there's likely to be a Zoom, and the information will be passed to me at some stage. So once the information is passed, I'm going to put it on the page, Speaking Out page, so those of you who want to be there virtually, we get an opportunity to do so. And I learned, it was on Monday, of the death of a friend, Miss Shirley Class. We used to call her First Class. We were all there at UG together. Shirley, Winston, Simeon, Keith, Trevor. We were all there, all in that class. And I have a lot to be thankful for, a lot to thank Shirley for. Because when I went to UG, when it came to maths, I was sailing, and Shirley knew good maths. And Shirley took me in hand and walked me through the paces, so I was able to pass maths eventually. I mean, I'll get a D, but I get a pass. That's all I wanted in the maths. So yeah, Shirley passed, I think, on Monday. And the thing is, it is said that Shirley went to church on Sunday. She went and worshiped on Sunday, and then the next day she passed. Very, very pleasant lady, very, very pleasant lady. She was the wife of the late Director General of the Guardian National Service, I think it was Clifford Class was his name. And he too died suddenly. I think he was there. He went over midday for lunch and took in and died just like that. So Shirley passed away on Monday. I want to take this opportunity to express condolences to the relatives, friends of all those persons who are deceased and say, we would only say, let them rest in peace and rise in glory. If I get additional information on Shirley's funeral arrangement, I will pass it on to you. Let me bring in CC CC to tell us and to give us his opening remarks. CC, are you there? I think CC stepped out of the studio for a while. I'm going to see when he comes back, and I'm going to bring him in to tell you what is going on. Now, well, border greetings. Let me give some quick border greetings. Border greetings are going out today. Is the birthday of retired Assistant Commissioner Little DeYoung. He's up celebrating a natal day today. Little Assistant Commissioner retired. We also have a birthday today of retired Inspector Lyndon Wilson, the coach. I think Wilson number was 13768. I remember it correctly. He is observing a natal day today. Today is also the birth anniversary of one Winston Yearwood. Winston was my sergeant when I was in the youth corps, and then later on he joined the police force. We got a good laugh about it because when I was in the corps, he used to be my drill instructor. And when he came into the force, I became his drill instructor. So he used to always laugh about it. Today, I think he's 76. And former member, Alison Daniels, is also, I think she was a traffic police on the West Demerara. She's celebrating today. And we have some belated birthday greetings. Woman Inspector General Davis, I think she's a Summit Police Headquarters. Retired Superintendent Rupert Hines is celebrating today. Retired woman Inspector Karen Tornell Murphy is celebrating today. Well, it's not celebrated recently, sorry. And a former squad mate, former member William Francis, 9509. I think he used to be at CRO somewhere there. He has celebrated, but I think he is celebrating today. William is celebrating today. And advance birthday greetings. We don't normally give advance, but we have special person. When we have special people, we have to give them advance birthday greetings. So advance birthday greetings is going out to retired woman superintendent Grace Veronica Davis. I know she and because I saw her on. Grace, happy birthday, advance birthday to you. Also, she's celebrating tomorrow. And I have also tomorrow a family member, a sister, Carol, is celebrating her birthday tomorrow, Carol Cummins. Then we have retired woman Sergeant Charlene. Charlene is on the program too, is celebrating on the 20th. Also retired Inspector Alan Joseph. So again, for those who are celebrating today, who celebrated recently, and for those advanced birthday wishes, all the best to you people, all the best. All the wealth, health, strength, prosperity. And I want to also say congratulations to Inspector Gaukaran Premanan. Gaukaran Premanan has gone into retirement. I think yesterday was a function for him. And after 33 years, he's proceeding on pre-retirement leave. Let me try to bring in Mr. Conway now. I think he's trying to call me. And let me bring in CC to give his thing. CC, welcome.
Yeah. Good morning. Happy to be in the land of the living, to do God's work. And we have lots of things to discuss together. So let's get on with it.
Yeah, we're going to get on with it. When we talk about that, you announce the deaths of those persons, good people. And again, sometimes you want to question how these good people are passing. And you have a lot of Jagabats and Jezebels making people life miserable and they're wrong. But I always say, don't question the work of the Lord. He will make sure they go at the right time. And you have to go, You have to go. The fear of death is one of the most irrational things there is. I always say that. The fear of death is so irrational. And the reason why I say it's irrational, because we all have to die. You can't escape that. And when you die, you ain't taking nothing with you. So all them who coveting and thieving and cheating and telling lies on people and doing that, they have to go. We all have to go. When the good Lord decides it is time for you to go, there's nothing you can do. You can't do like the big man and this thing when Mr. Death walked into the yard and asked the particular big man, he ordered Death was coming, he put on short pants and go and play marble in the yard with them little boy. So when Death asked him by name, the persons in the house he said, no, he's not there. So he said, all right, I said, he's not here. I'm going to take the biggest little boy downstairs. And he gone. All of us have to go. So they could sit down in the rum shop on the East Coast and scheme to kill people, including me, and they can do all sort of things. We all have to go. It is an irrational fear. It's irrational to be fearful of death because we all have to die. And what we should do is prepare ourselves for when that inevitable day comes. When that day comes, we got to prepare for it. So, all right. So let me go to the first main issue here now. Well, I got to rub my cricket friends, Before I got to the main issue, I got to rub my cricket friend. West Indies Technics again last night, Bangladesh. They can't make 129. I tell you all, I told you all before that, first of all, once certain teams are taken to certain venues, West Indies can always struggle. The last time Bangladesh were here for T20 tournament, they took them to Providence in Guyana. Bangladesh won 3-0. It looked like it's another 3G drop-in you're going to get again in St. Vincent. Because if you look back during the World Cup, all the matches that were played in St. Vincent, I think it's only one. The teams batting last struggle because there's the nature of the wicket. The nature. You go your bat first, you make a 120 and a 130, and then the wicket deteriorates. So don't tell me that, well, they must professional. And we know they can't play spin. We know they can't. We know they don't play sensible cricket. The fact that they lost that first game in the manner in which they did so, tell you they don't play cricket with their brain. Right? So that is what I want to tell you all at this stage. And I encourage you on the last occasion to listen to that program, Nation Watch, last Sunday, hosted by Marvin Williams, and the featured guest was Mr. Winston Jordan, former finance minister. Brilliant takedown of Jack Dew. Somebody sent me something where the president, sometime this morning, coming and they're attacking. It shows that these things are getting on. And I tell you, I don't listen to them with the nonsense. Listen, and what I like about Jordan and certain other commentators, they're just talking. He produced the evidence. Jordan produced receipts to show. He quoted sections from the law. He quoted the answers, which is a recording in Parliament. He quoted these things with date and time. And then the man come out all this morning. He come out like Zanduli. I think he come out so early, 5 o'clock in the morning. Y'all know the song, Mighty Zanduli. If you don't know it, Google it. Google it, right? So yes, he came out and a brilliant takedown. And I posted it because I had promised. I posted it on the Facebook page, YouTube, the Facebook page of Speaking Out. So if you have not seen it, you go on Speaking Out, you're going to find it there. You can sit down in your own time and listen to the takedown, listen to facts. Not with the come and talk all sort of crap, the thing. And then, tomorrow what can happen, they're going to come for abuse somebody again tomorrow, because tomorrow is Tanti Mall Day, right? Big Bacchanal just the other day with the Nida and Shimakumi, so they're going to get tomorrow. So again, I encourage you, don't listen to me, don't listen to what the others are saying. Listen for yourself. It is there for you to listen, and as reasonable, intelligent people, you can come to your own understanding. Mr. Jordan, brilliant takedown, presented facts, he presented receipts, and that is what you have to go by. That I want to do, they're attacking people, can't deal with the facts, so they come and they're going to attack you. Like how they just come and attack me and CC, say we ugly, and all other things. Can't deal with the facts. Can't deal. Yeah, Evelyn, 2 hours straight of facts, evidence-based argument. Now this nonsense, they come and rant and rave, and they do this ad hominem attack. In other words, they can't attack the facts, so they attack the person who is making the statement. That is what they are good for. I guess they're going to try to come and attack me, but I'm ready for them. They're going to put on the red drawers, and they're going to come, and they're going to put on me boxer shorts and show them who is man, and I can respond to them, as I have always done. They come and they're going to attack, they're going to say all sorts of things. Well, let me be honest, I'm fair to them. I can't recall them ever attacking this program Once they send out Kwame and a Cordell Jones or something like that for talk, and then a Michael Young to come, and I dealt with them. I dealt with them, right? So when they send them out, I am going to deal. Once they talk about me, I'm going to deal with them. So let me move on to the next matter. Now, I saw a very disturbing tape the other day. Very, very disturbing. Where a policeman is seen, I'm trying to get the thing here. A policeman is seen, let's show you all the tape before I bring in Mr. Conway. Let me show you all, it's a short tape, but a policeman is seen kicking a man in the head. It caught on tape. And I understand they said the policeman is arrested and to be dealt with. Here it is.
Surrender.
Let me show that back so you could look at it properly and understand what's going on.
Surrender.
Oh, let me understand this clearly. Let me understand this. I've always said I'm pro-police, you know. I have nothing against the police. I was a police for 37 years. I have nothing. But that type of conduct cannot be tolerated. And they're claiming, according to the release, that this, well, not necessarily for the police, but I saw a thing which says that some car, they took the police on a high-speed chase around the town. They drive up one way and all of that. Policemen chase them. Eventually, they corner them. And as you can see there, man on the ground, offering no resistance, police walk up and kick him in the head. They say the policeman is under arrest, and I think they say OPR that investigate. But it's a straightforward matter. And unless you take condign action with these incidents, the evidence is there. As I had to tell a friend yesterday, under no circumstance can that be justified. Even if the man had assaulted the police, you have got to trained to show restraint and to be professional. But when you see the man on the ground and the policeman just walk up and bad up kick the man in the head, what you're waiting for is a quick investigation by now or before the end of the week. He should be before the court charged with assault. And that is how you're going to restore some respect for the police force. But if you're going to cover up and cover up and cover up, people are going to lose respect. And then people are going to retaliate. That is the bad thing. If you recall, sometime earlier this year, again, a businessman in Linden was kicked in his head. The kicking while he was lying on the ground. That is the report. And they said OPR will investigate. We ain't heard nothing further. We haven't heard anything further about that matter. And here again, we have another incident. Let me understand this clearly. A lot of people take the eyes and pass police. People assault police and all of that. That is not to be accepted as well. But if you are a professional, you have to be trained to show restraint. You can't retaliate like that. You got to show restraint. That is where the professional training comes in. But it is obvious what's going on. Man does decide to walk up, kick this man. How can you justify that? How can you? Right? He should have, by this morning, he should have been facing the court. He can face the court charged with assault. I guess he can plead not guilty. And they're not going to interdict him because you don't interdict people now when they're before the court. You don't. Right? So let me bring in Mr. Conway to hear what he has to say about that. CC, you saw that disgraceful act by the police. What are your views, my brother?
Yes, it's shocking but true. You know, the whole thing boils down to behavior. And then if I backtrack a bit, the high-speed chase, most times those high-speed chases that they do is counterproductive. Some vehicle crash somewhere, somebody get injured, sometimes fatality. But I can't imagine a man lying and a police in uniform going and kick him in his head. And it boils down to training too, how you deal with people. They don't do anger management. They don't do conflict resolution. They don't do effectively dealing with people, effective investigation and those kind of things. And then when you look at it, his colleagues, what they were doing there too, because if you're wrong and a person is committing an offense there and you don't do anything about it, you are just as guilty as them. And that doesn't call for OPR to investigate. That is the divisional work. In no time, as we say, cut and dry, in no time the divisional people were supposed to do the investigation, and as you mentioned, you should have been in court by now. Make it big publicity. Show the public that you're doing work, that you're not tolerating acts of indiscipline. It's shocking to the bone where a policeman is going and kick somebody who's lying on the ground. And don't tell me nonsense that OPR investigating. Same thing you mentioned, Linden. I saw the Linden incident on tape where there's an OPR investigating, and we have heard anything about it. So don't want to OPR investigating. There's a cover up. Let the division do the work. There's easy method for, or I don't know if the division get investigated. So there's another story.
Easy matter. I put up this comment here called "It's a word on the ground and the man subsequently died in police." Not so. That is not so. Let me understand it clearly. A man did die in police custody. I'm going to talk about that. Not the man who the police kicked. So we understand it clearly. It's a different incident. So Audrey and others, the man who died in the police custody at Alberton Police Station is not the same man who we saw being kicked a while ago. So please. Now let me say this. As Mr. Conway pointed out, simple, straightforward matter. The man, whether he was a prisoner or whatever, the correct action should have been, the man should have been taken to the hospital to get treatment. And depending on the medical certificate, then you're going to determine what charge. But as I saw, there is assault right away. If the man had suffered more injuries, for example, if you had your kicky, head bust and the bleed, you might get a wound in charge as well. So we have got to, and again, the police, this is where I command the extended squad and those people with matters like this circulating should show that they mean to stamp out this unprofessional behavior. They should have give him a release, quick time. The man was arrested. They said the policeman arrested. Tell us that the man is charged and before the court, right? Because you cannot justify nor tolerate that type of behavior. You cannot. Now let me move to the next incident. Somebody told the man who died in police custody. There's a report. The police gave a release. Let me tell you what it is. They say a 63-year-old taxi driver, and this is from Stabrook News yesterday. A 63-year-old Stabrook taxi driver yesterday collapsed and died at the Alberton Police Station after being arrested. They are saying that the incident occurred around 7:25 p.m. Then they go on to say now, the man has been identified as Brian Lycott of Lot 104 Meadowbrook Gardens. According to the police, by way of a statement, Lycott was arrested on Durban Street about 16:30 p.m. Follow me here clearly. He was arrested about 6:30 p.m. That is 6:30 in the afternoon. That is yesterday on the 16th for alleged dangerous driving after he hit two stationary cars on the northern side of Durban Street with his motor car HB 6462. The release go on to say, Lycott appeared to be under the influence of alcohol. At 19:25 hours, Lycott was escorted to the Alberton Police Station by the police rank to be breathalyzed. He was sitting on a prisoner's bench when he collapsed to the ground and died at 19:27 hours, the police said. Emergency medical technicians were summoned and he was pronounced dead by a doctor from the GPHC. The scene was photographed and no mark of violence was seen or no foul play was suspected. The CCTV camera at the police station were reviewed by detectives and they captured when Lycott was taken to the station and also when he collapsed to the ground. The body was escorted to the Memorial Gardens Funeral Home awaiting postmortem examination. Investigations are in progress. Now I have some issues with this statement. First of all, corporate communication unit, they're so unprofessional, headed by Mark Ramatar. I can call you out and call them out on every occasion because I know they listen. Now, this man, according to them, the man was arrested on Durban Street at 6:30 p.m. That is on the 16th, 6:30 in the afternoon. And they say for alleged dangerous driving after he hit two cars. He drive in, he knocked two stationary vehicles. Then they said he appeared to be under the influence of alcohol. And then they said 1925 hours. So they talk about PM, and then they come and tell you now what 1925 hours. He was escorted to Alberton police station. So according to what the police are saying, this man is alleged to have committed his offense at 6:30 in the afternoon. And what they're saying is still 1925, still till 25 after 7 in the night. 55 minutes elapsed before he was taken to the Alberton police station to be breathalyzed. And then he died 2 minutes after. That's what they say. While 2 minutes after arriving at the Alberton police station. But there's so many things wrong. First of all, this man knocked two vehicles, but they didn't question him. Because I have information, credible information, which suggests that the man never used to drink. And the man might have had a medical emergency where he knocked the two cars and so on. So it would appear as no proper work was done on the ground. They just assumed that the man drunk, kept the man there 55 minutes before they took him, but it took 55 minutes from the time of the incident to him arriving at Alberton police station. And the man died. So for all you know, the man was dying all the time. Nobody had observed this man, went to the station, he sat there. Shortly after, nobody else see, even when they were taking him, they didn't see something wrong with this man. They did not see. They just assumed that this man drunk. I mean, this thing is so unprofessional. So unprofessional. Just somebody saying that there was the army. I was at the army with that man, in the army with that man, and he doesn't drink. Let the family ask for a toxicology test. I think that the only time any serious attempt will be made to address these shortcomings will be when a senior functionary or a relative is caught in that quandary. That is what one of his former colleagues is saying here. But it's a police action. So if you see the man driving, he just had to, he knocked two vehicles. Yeah, you have to intervene and take action. But how you come to the assumption that this man drunk? Did you smell alcohol? Did he appear incoherent? Slurred speech, staggering, all of those things. You can't just assume that the man drunk. It would appear, and we haven't seen the postmortem yet, but it would appear that this man was having serious medical issues. And I kept him there. Obviously, his condition may have deteriorated in that piece of time. And when he got to think, the man collapsed and the man died. The man collapsed and the man died. And I'm making the point, before I begin, Mr. Conway, it goes all the way back to action of the person in charge of the station at the time. You know what happens now in the police force? The arresting rank, whether it's a constable or whoever came on in the station, and then he just dictate what happens. Whether the person can go on bail, whether the person should go in the lockup, they dictate. Whereas, as I know it, the person in charge of the station determines you arrest a man, you carry to the station. In my day, you have to go and report to the sergeant. You're arresting this man, sergeant, or the corporal in charge of the station. This man is arrested for so. You make your entry, you book the man in the diary that you're arresting. Them sergeant allowing you to leave the station until you write a statement. They say, all right, sit down and write your statement. And it's based on your statement, they will determine whether the man is to be kept in custody, whether the man is to be charged, whether the man is to be warranted and sent away. But that don't happen now. Traffic rank in particular. They take the person to the station, they leave the person. They gone out back on duty. 2-3 hours after, people are complaining about it. And these are the things that the extended squatter, these people have to look at. Because these are the things that are causing people inconvenience and causing people to hate the guy in the police force. Let me understand it. But the system is there in the standing order. A person is arrested, taken to the station. The arresting rank will report to the senior person. This is man is arrested, woman, for so. Immediately thereafter, them old sergeant tell you, write your statement. You're not left the station until you write your statement. As a matter of fact, I can tell you this. Let me share this with you. Back in the day, sometimes people on the beat. I didn't work beat for long. When I didn't share the school, you work beat label, but I got transferred to the TSU. I became an instructor. But I know police got up on the road. Then we said a 4-hour beat. They make an arrest after the first hour. They take the person to the station. The sergeant tell you, write a statement. Oh, God, this is what I want. God, sit down there, and the statement can take the next 3 hours to be written. They're going to take the time and write the statement, gauging that by the time they finish write the statement, the 4-hour finish, and they're gone away. You have to write a statement, but now people are taken to the station. No statement is there for people to know exactly what the person is alleged to have done. Nothing. And they're not addressing these issues, and they're not seeing how these things are affecting the whole image of the force. They don't understand that. Yes, already back to basic, but they don't know it's basic. They don't know it's basic. I remember the extended squatter telling me at the commission of inquiry that the things I talking about, this long ago, chief, long ago, these things don't happen now. And that's the problem. Because these basic things do not occur, that is why you have all of these incidents. Let me bring in Mr. Conway. CC, let me hear your views on this man who died after 55 minutes before they took him to be better alive. Your views, my brother.
Yeah, a trend appeared to be emerging, A couple of months ago, a man died in the lockups at Latham police station. They say he hung himself with the underpants. Shortly after, a man hung himself at 51 police station in Borbees. We heard the other day, a man died in the lockups at Ronville police station, gunshot wounds. Now we hear this one, he died at Alberton police station. All died whilst in police custody. And I want to know whether or not the complaints authority has been notified so that they can supervise the investigation, the death of those persons in police custody. We'll come back to the point you made, Paul. You clear what is the role of the station sergeant. Let me tell you an experience I had some time ago. I went to a station, I would identify the station in 4B. And there was an inspector and a sergeant there, and the person who was working in charge of the inquiry's office. And a young traffic rank, looked like he just out of training school to me, came in, he brought 3 men. And he went to the person who was in charge, who was working in the office there. And he said, put this one in the lockups. Put this one on $10,000 bail. And let this one stay till I come back. And he barged out of the police station. And the station sergeant sat there, and the inspector sat there, and they didn't utter a word, they didn't do anything. When you are in command of the station, you are in command. And police can't bring a man and left here and go along way. As you mentioned, in my days, them old sergeants used to get briefcases, zip up the briefcase, take out a statement form, a blank one, say, write your statement, sit down and write your statement. But no, them youngsters doing their own thing. And I'm surprised that the person who took the guy to the Alberton police station has gone his way, left it there. I'm going to deal with it when I come back. And didn't report to any station sergeant. The station sergeant is in charge of lock, stock, barrel, apron, and everything. I mean, everything. That is the person. But you have weak station sergeants who don't have command and control. That when you're carrying somebody, you got to report to the station sergeant or report to the senior person at the time being. And there's it. They say he must be under the influence of thing, and they left him there, and shortly after he died. We await the post-mortem report. But management of station is critical. And I can't tell you last year there was station sergeant course too. We used to run 6-week station sergeant course, for the sergeant, where you go through everything, the stand and all and everything, how you treat prisoners and all kind of thing there. I can't tell when last I hear the police did a course for a station sergeant. So things gonna go a while. But saying I don't like the trend, 4 persons in a short space of time died whilst in police custody. Something is wrong. And perhaps if they don't take proper action, the trend will continue.
Yeah, one of them, don't forget one of them, they say hang himself with the shards. What he said, the one that let them, they say hang themselves with the shards. That was such a terrible matter. And up to now, you're not hearing anything further about that, This is a man who they said in a statement, some domestic violence report against him, and they gave him the release that the man was taken to the police station. The man was asked to remove his clothes, and he was put with his bare underpants in the station, in the lockups, and he used the underpants to hang himself. They said so. They said so. We're not making these things up. They said so. So that is a problem you have. The problem we say at all levels is a problem of leadership. There's lacking from the extended squatter right down. Leadership is lacking. You dare. I spent some time at Sparna police station as a SC. 5300 Comma Badge was the man in charge here. You think any one of them detective, any one of the traffic ranks or anybody, they bring a person there that and not report to Como and tell Como what they are bringing that person there for? They got to come and report to the sergeant, this man is arrested for so. You can't just bring and say, put this man in the lockup. It doesn't work that way, but that is what is going on now. Especially if the person who making the arrest is a CID rank. Them sergeant, CID rank arrest a man and say, I had that experience at Brigham. They come the bookie for RUA, robbery on the arms, because they know, and many times, not so, there's arrest a man, the bookie, robbery on the arms, because they know that people are going to be reluctant to just send away a man who is booked for robbery on the arms. When you come and you start to question them, they can't tell you when this thing occurred, who is the victim. Let me see the report when this thing, they can't. And I could tell you as the commander of a division in Brigham, when I sit down there some morning, you run the lockups. You go downstairs, you run the lockups. You see the prisoners, you're going to interact with the prisoners. You can't ask the prisoners what they did, because they always did not do anything. You got to ask them by what they say you do. And once you get that, what did they say you do? They're going to come and why they say I do so. How long you been here? You check the records. I had the experience where a breakdown used to be the holding area for people all over in the interior and so on in particular. So Jamir was commander of division. They would bring prisoners out of the interior, bring them to breakdown, and they left them there. They forget about them. I used to call you. I said, Jamir, you get prisoner. This man, they 48 hours going on to 72. What is the position? Oh, they always dancing. You know what I did him one day? I said, let me tell you something, my brother. If by 2 o'clock this afternoon, you decide to put these people on bail and so on, I am bringing them to your office at 4 o'clock. I'm bringing them to your office. Because I, as a commander of a division, I am responsible for prisoners who are in breakdown lockups. And you, they sit down, I and Mighty at headquarters, you said in prisoner, I ain't taking that. Also they come and he beg me, and then they also come. This one forgot on bail, and this one. You got to stand firm for these things. You got to stand firm to make sure the correct thing is done. And the way our prisoners are dealt with leaves much to be desired. When a man can die in Rhineville police station and the postmortem show that the man died from gunshot wound, what is happening? Gunshot wound. The gunshot wound this man died from. But let me move on to the next matter, police. This office of professional responsibility again. Again, I say, I'm not picking on them, but I got to point out these things. And they might be annoyed in the manner in which these things are pointed out. But I got to point out if you vex. They say who vex drink more vex. Who vex lose. They have a thing the other day. They give a police release, And I'm talking here. They said 3 employees of Dr. Balwant Singh Hospital charged for embezzlement, accused of stealing millions of dollars. That is the headline. That is the headline they give. Right? Let me read again. 3 employees of Balwant Singh Hospital charged for embezzlement, and the accused of stealing millions. That's let me read. Because I suspect right away something wrong. Embezzlement, you don't hear about that. Let me read. When you read a thing, it is clear that they do not know what is embezzlement. And here again, you have a crime chief who is an attorney. You have other senior officers. But they don't know, they don't guide these people. Because here what they're saying, I can read one because the facts are basically the same. Shivani Gayodin, a 23-year-old female from Lot 716 Bell West Canal number 2, West Bank, Demerara, was charged today, Monday, for larceny by clerk or servant, contrary to Section 184 of the Criminal Law Offences Act, Chapter 801, committed on Dr. Balwant Singh Hospital, Inc., which occurred between the 19th of February and the 19th of December this year. Gayodin is accused of larceny of $14,307,000. She appeared before Joshua Magistrate Court 3 before her worship charge was read, she pleaded not guilty and was placed on $500,000. Now, how can you get an headline talking about embezzlement? And then in the article itself, but I have to read all the various persons who were charged, 4 of them or so charged, because I waited to see why is embezzlement. No embezzlement. It is largely by clerk or servant. They don't know the difference. And I suspect a lot of police don't know the difference. So young policemen, take out your book, take note, largely by clerk or servant or embezzlement. Now, I did prosecutor's course in 1980, way back then. I never prosecute. But I did the course, but because of my role as a training officer at the TSU and so on, I didn't get transferred outside to prosecute. But I remember those things very, very well. Now they tell you, both offenses are committed by persons who are employed as clerk or servant. Let me understand it. Both offenses, whether it's embezzlement or larceny by clerk or servant, they are both committed by persons who is a person or persons who is employed as a clerk or servant. Yeah, I'll share this life, man. Share the life and give me a thumbs up. I'm doing some teaching this morning again. Now, my training tells you that if a person is employed as a clerk or servant, and the role is to accept monies, there is likely to be a process where you accept the money, you enter the money into some book, some ledger, and all that. You got to enter into the records, and then the money is put there to be accounted for. That is the process. Now, the big difference with embezzlement and larceny by clerk and servant, embezzlement occurs if before the money is put into the records, the money is stolen. So you collect money. You're there, let's say a cashier, you're some clerk or servant, you collect the money. You then enter into the book, you pocket it. You're caught. That is embezzlement because it was not entered into the book of the owner and so on. But once you enter it into the records, and then you thief it, that is larceny by clerk or servant. So there is a difference. So it is clear that what they're talking here, they say about embezzlement, and then they're going to say the person charged for larceny by clerk or servant. They don't know that there's a difference between the two offenses. Again, I say, committed by the same person or persons employed as clerk or servant. But the big difference is how and when the money is stolen. How and when. You know, and I did some research this morning. Quickly, let me tell you one of the things that they say. Not too long. Let me tell you quickly. It says here that it's a white-collar crime, involves fraudulent taking of money or property by someone who has been entrusted with it. It's different from larceny because the original taking of the property was lawful or with the owner's consent. The original taking of the property was lawful. So there's embezzlement, original taking. So when they collect the money, it was lawful for them to do so on behalf of the owner. But then they pocket the money, they put it to the owner. Whereas I've said with the other offense, larceny by clerk or servant, you collect the money, you put it into the records, and then you thief it. So it's larceny by clerk or servant. I would hope that they will, well, the corporate communication unit, a civilian man in charge, and nobody seems to be vetting these things that they're releasing. But when you see these things, us who have had the privilege of having been trained and understand these things, we got to come and tell. Because them long police and know them things. I'm thinking you got a senior police too and know, right? So yes, Cheryl, we got to beat and we got to teach them. We got to beat. Then we got CC as a whole trainer for come and deal with this issue before we move on to the next one. CC, they don't know that there's a difference between embezzlement and larceny by clerk or servant.
Well, you made it very clear, you know, that the person receive on behalf of the employer, and without getting your record or anything, you collect the thing and you use it to your own benefit or the benefit of others, is that you receive it on behalf of your employer. You don't make no record or anything there. You don't do no documentation or anything, but you just pocket the money as we see. And there's a difference between an embezzlement and clerk or servant. Many people make that mistake, and even some senior people don't know anything about embezzlement too. So they kind of misleading people.
Yeah, well, we have a responsibility to teach. We have a responsibility to teach them and so on. Let me go to. I want to deal with the main issue. But before I go to the main issue, well, let me go to the main issue now. And if we get time, we're gonna deal with the other stuff. The main issue as advertised in the program, the main issue as given in the notification yesterday is the what we say the imminent appointment of Clifton Ikin as the Commissioner of Police. They're going to appoint you, you know. They don't care. They're going to appoint you as Commissioner of Police. That my crystal ball says so. My crystal ball says that they are going to appoint him as Commissioner of Police. And as we have said, they want to appoint him in violation of the Constitution. Let them go ahead and do so. It's not going to be the first time that the president violated the Constitution, right? He violated it when he unlawfully, unconstitutionally suspended the Police Service Commission that I chaired, and Mr. Conway is a member. The judge said so. Not Slow and Conway saying so. Justice Gino Prasad ruled and said that he violated Article 225 in particular of the Constitution when he when he suspended the Police Service Commission on the 16th of June, 2021. So it's not going to be the first time. When they appoint Ikin, a man who has passed retirement age, a man who is wholly unqualified for the office, they're going to appoint him. But we just want to let you know, we'll continue to say, the truth must be told. Not this nonsense we're guilty sure tell people, but this man is the best thing since sliced bread, and that is why he needs to be appointed for national security and all him crap. And let me make this point again. This is not a personal attack. These are bringing facts. We like to be facts-based. We like to be facts-based. So you have a man who is sitting there as the acting commissioner. He's past his retirement age. He is wholly unqualified academically or otherwise for the position. And they're going to appoint him soon. Perhaps even before Christmas, they're going to appoint him. But I want to let you know what some of the allegations against this man. But before I tell you of the allegations, remember the man in the Bahamas, the Commissioner of Police in Bahamas 2 weeks ago? One of his senior officers is arrested in Miami by the feds, Drug Enforcement Authority of the U.S., charged with drug trafficking and so on. That is a senior officer under the commissioner in the Bahamas. I played it, I have it to play. We don't have time. The officer is arrested. Almost immediately thereafter, the commissioner of police addressed the nation. He addressed the nation, tried to reassure the nation that maybe was an aberration. This is not widespread in the force. He tried to reassure the people in Bahamas, right? About a day or two after that, the man resigned his position. That is a commissioner of police, you know. He wasn't accused of doing anything, but such an egregious act took place under his watch that he felt that the honorable and the correct thing to do was to resign. We have a man acting here as commissioner. All sort of thing happening on even before he was placed there. All sort of thing. And he is going to be rewarded. He is going to be rewarded with confirmation. And it brings me to the point where last Thursday, they had the award ceremony. And during the course of the award ceremony, a lot of people were given awards and so on. And apparently some members of the force were pretty upset. And people, sorry, hold on, let me do something here. Let me close off this. People, they were pretty upset. And they made some allegations. And one of the things that they said to me is that it would appear as though in order to be promoted or to be rewarded, you got to be corrupt, you got to take bribe, and all of these things in the police force. That is what somebody told me, you know. I'm not making this up. That is what. Because then the man went on to say some of the people who get an award, they're involved in all kind of unlawful activities. And you remind me of some. You remind me. And you know, and I got to ask the question, guys, say, maybe you should find out. Remember not so long ago, about a month or so ago, perhaps even longer than that, a little longer than that, we had this nasty story, email carried where the police went to a particular home and they carried a search. And they found this big pension book scam. It is alleged that this woman had over 150 million Guyana dollars and an old set of pension book and disability books and so on, run-ins. It is on tape where it is said that the policemen who were in that operation took $2 million, obviously to forego the thing. because the retired senior police officer who is recorded, the tape is there, recorded, saying that they called the police caller. She's a retired officer. When they go to find the money in the place, they call this retired officer who apparently was abroad, because the place where the money was found is her stepdaughter, the retired police officer's stepdaughter. They called she, right? And she said, well, they find money. How much money? That is what the girl said. She said she got about $30-something million. And she is on tape saying, what are you doing with all the money? You know, it's illegal. Blah, blah, she going on. It transpired that when the thing sorted and the money counted, $150-something million. It is alleged that the policemen who were there, took $2 million to sweep the matter. And the man who was in charge, double back. All is on tape, you know. The man double back and say, you want $3 more million. And the officer, the retired officer is on tape, telling our daughter, our stepdaughter, to give you the $3 million, because if you're under there, you're going to lose more than that. You can't make these things up. I understand some of those very people have been rewarded and awarded. People in charge of that operation where lick-up take place, they are being awarded. Big award. People tell me too, y'all remember this one? Let me show you all this one. Remember the matter with the pink suitcase? Where is it? Where is it? You remember this here? I think this was all in the year too. Police raided someplace in South Rivell, and they found a pink suitcase in some alleyway. That is what they reported. A pink suitcase found in an alleyway, and the pink suitcase had all of these firearms inside. And you can see them there. AR-15 rifle, 9mm pistol, all of these things were in the pink suitcase. And my source is telling me they must ask who were the people in charge of this operation. Because they're saying it's not only arms and ammunition, they had drugs and as much as $14 million these people had. And you know, again, some of these same people who are involved in this thing were awarded, given big award and so on. That is what the people are saying. And that is why the man said to me, the man said, Skipper, it looked like in order to get by in the police force, you have to be corrupt, you have to be unprofessional, you have to be a criminal to get by. That is what is being said. And I make all of these points to say all of these things are taking place under the watch of Ikin, the man who sits there. All of these things are taking place under his watch. And they're going to promote him. I have more to discuss, but let me bring in Mr. Conway. I want to argue about him. See, this thing about the imminent promotion and some of the things that I liked it. Let me hear your views, my brother.
Yeah, just like you, I heard that very shortly he will be confirmed. I understand they're planning a secret swearing in, like what they did with Janet Jagan when Do Not Sing said that he had sworn her. I understand like that, but the law is clear, the Constitution is clear that you can't appoint a man after he has passed the age of retirement. We said before and we mentioned before, Balaam Ragabir, Larry Lewis, Henry Green, Brummel, they were appointed before they reached the age of 55, and then they extended them. The law is very, very clear on that. And also the Constitution is clear, and the Constitution is the supreme law. The president is a creature of the Constitution. And then any action you're gonna take, any law that you're gonna do, you're gonna put into place, has got to fall within the ambit of the Constitution. It got to fall within the ambit of the Constitution, and any law that collides with the Constitution got to be fatal. And as my commissioner used to say, Larry Lewis used to say, you got to bow down and say, mea culpa, mea culpa. But the president has breached the Constitution before. Justice Gino Prasad said so. Remember when the president suspended us as members of the Police Service Commission on the advice of the Prime Minister and Nanlal, and the judge ruled that it was unconstitutional, null and void, has no legal effect and things. And even if the president breach the constitution, the president can be removed from office. And let me read section 94, article 94 of the constitution, saying the president may be removed from office if he or she commits any violation of the constitution or any gross misconduct. The procedure for removing him or her is prescribed in Article 180. I'm not going to go into that. But the president could be removed, but then it call for a lot of, you got a couple of charandas to come on board if you want to remove him. It's a big, long, drawn-out process. So I won't be surprised because I hear that they're extending him. And then he said, the extended squatters say that that the president told him that he's going to keep him till after election. I hear the words, until after election. So they don't get him before, let me use some famous words, before, during, and after election to do their biddings, to do their dirty work, as we say. There's what Hicken told all the other meeting, all the deputy commanders, and he said that the president told him that he'd extend him till after elections. And he also said before that the Granger government is a one-term government, and Jack Dio told him that when they get in power, they're gonna make him commissioner, and they made him commissioner. But let me talk about this award ceremony. I saw some names of some persons who get awards, and I wonder, I won't call the names, persons who were tainted, involved in corruption and all kind of things. Perhaps they got to be corrupt for getting. But I got difficulty with the best cop. I don't know him personally. I don't know him personally. I don't know him personally. But when we look at things and look at things critically, when we examine things, the best cop comes from the narcotics section. He's a cadet officer, understand he's second in command, and he's in charge of operations. Well, here is it. We had the biggest land operation, 4.4 tons of cocaine unearthed from, according to the Minister of Affairs, from 2 hand dog pits, 4.4 tons of cocaine. And the police was involved, the commissioner was involved, the narcotics section wasn't involved. And here it is, you have a best cop coming from the narcotics section. Hypocrisy. The 4.4 tons of cocaine, not marijuana, cocaine. The narcotics branch didn't know anything. They weren't involved. And the deputy of the narcotics section, he is the best cop. Something is wrong somewhere. I have nothing personally against him, but saying the best cop should have never come from the narcotics branch. No way, because the narcotics branch, with the largest land seizure that we had, came from the cocaine. They weren't involved, the narcotics weren't involved. And here it is, the best cop came from the narcotics branch. The best cop should have come from somewhere else.
One man told me he's not the best cop, he's the best scamp. That's the word. That is what I don't know if he was referring to the particular individual, what is the man said, because the man said the same thing that you're saying. How can the best cop in the police force be from a branch where you have this large cocaine discovery, and he and all of the other police were kept out? How come? So what did this man do to be so rewarded or given this prestigious award? And people are disgruntled about it, and rightly so. Members of the force are disgruntled. Of course, you don't talk now, because you talk, you're going to be victimized. Even though CB 2452 is no longer there, the system still victimizes people for talking the truth. That is what you have going on. But folks, I get more to talk about. Yeah, share. As I've said, and Mr. Conway agrees, they're going to appoint Akin as a commissioner, and they're going to violate the Constitution. They're going to do the past retirement age and all that. The question, therefore, is why they feel the need to violate the Constitution to appoint this man. You have the acting chancellor. You have the acting chief justice. For the longest while, they are not moving to confirm or to appoint them, even in the face of criticism by the president of the Caribbean Court of Justice and a lot of legal luminaries. Even some of the international organizations have commented on the fact that for the longest while, the Chief Justice and the Chancellors have not been confirmed. And you know what makes the thing even worse? The Chancellor, the Chief Justice, are members of the Judicial Service Commission. The other three members are retired Acting Chancellor Carl Singh. You have retired Judge B.S. Roy, and the chairman of the Public Service Commission, Maniram Prasad. So they are the 5 members. And these 2 distinguished women have to face what I refer to as the indignity of sitting on this commission to confirm judges, junior judges to them. Listen to this. You tell me Ghana could be a real place? The Chief Justice, who has been acting for the longest while, and the Chancellor, who has also been active for the longest while, are members of the Judicial Service Commission. Recently, it was reported that the Judicial Service Commission confirmed the appointment, I think, 4 or 5 judges. So I am saying that they have to suffer the indignity of sitting there to confirm people below them and the president. Of course, it's a different process, because in the case of the junior judges, it's the Judicial Service Commission. In the case of the Chancellor and the Chief Justice, the Constitution is clear. The president, and he has to have agreement from the opposition leader or the leader of the opposition. The leader of the opposition indicated a long time ago in writing that he is in favor of those 2 distinguished women being appointed or being confirmed in the position. And they ain't doing that. They're not doing that, but they're appointing a man named Clifton Akin who is unqualified. And let me tell you some of the things, and I say when I talk about being unqualified, I'm not talking about only academically. I'm talking about otherwise. You have this same man, if you remember, who was fingered in the Linden killing of the 3 protesters. You remember that? 2019, I think it was. 3 men died. They were protesting there because something to do with electricity. Akin was the commander on the ground, and the 3 men shot and killed. They had an inquiry into that. And at the inquiry, during questioning under oath, Akin indicated that during a particular period of time, he did not have any communication with the ministers of affairs. Clement Roy said they had no telephone communication during a particular time frame. The people, investigators, whoever they were, right, went to the telephone company and they get the record to show that the phone belonging to Akin did during that same period of time connected with the phone belonging to Roy. Circumstantial evidence, not direct, because you could always say, give somebody the phone, you could always say they hack the phone. But here was the kicker. When after that, Roy went into the witness box and under oath, and the question was put to him, Roy said that Akin did speak to him during the period of time, and I said that was forgery. And I was looking to see, I said, this is trouble, this man will get trouble, forgery. Nothing can happen. Nothing. Then you had the commission of inquiry that I conducted into the assassination plot against President Granger. Akin was commander A division. Came there, said that during a particular period of time, he did not communicate with the commissioner then, Silal Prasad. Right? When Silal Prasad questioned, Silal said that they were in communication during the particular time. Y'all check the report that I put up, I tell you all, if you all want a report, just let me know. Send me your email address, and I will send it to you. Because you're going to see that I concluded that one of them had to be lying. I did not say it can lie. I did not say Cecil Prasad lie. But I said both stories could not have been true. And I then recommended that an investigation be conducted to determine who was the liar. I had my views who the person that was lying was. But I did not make those views known in the report. All I did, as any professional would have done, I pointed out the discrepancies and I said an investigation should be done because I believe someone committed perjury. Nothing can happen. Nothing can happen. And let me think too. We get the Lindo Creek. They should inquire into Lindo Creek, who are the persons who are there, police officers and so on who are there. And let me hear what transpired. The other inquiry, a COI into that. And I remember, I think it was Justice Stratman, retired Justice Stratman, said, make the point. He did not clear the joint services from it. He did not clear the joint services. He made it clear that the joint services may have been involved in the killing of those miners at Lindo Creek. And in case you can't remember, Lindo Creek there, in the days of Feynman and them running, I think Arokium, a miner, his son, big, the man was there, the man a surveyor, the man show you all the thing on the map and so on. And he was adamant that the miners, including I think his brother or his son, were killed by members of the joint services. Arokium, Dax Arokium, I think was his name. I remember well, because when the bodies were discovered burnt, because apparently they were shot and they were burnt beyond recognition. They had to get DNA and all that. Sam Hines, who was the prime minister, visited the resident to commiserate with them. The prime minister found it necessary to go and visit. And it was rumored. The allegation was that it was joint services, or more particular, police ranks may have killed, mistakenly, they did say, may have mistakenly killed those persons. They should find out that. Ask the man, because I understand he was on the claim that he was on the operation. He was part of the police team in the area at the time. Not that he did it. Nobody said that he did anything, but they said that he was leading a police team in the area at the time, and he may have had knowledge as to what took place. That's the man that can make commissioner. And more allegation again. Quarantine robbery some time ago. Banks were robbed in the quarantine. And the men ran into the area by Backbush there. And they had a joint services operation, police and GDF. They eventually cornered the men, the bandits, and all the bandits were killed, and sums of monies were recovered. And people say people had wet money. People were accused of having wet money. Find out who. Find out who were the wet money. You know, when they this Christmas time, they just get home alone, and you talk about the wet bandits. I think that was the name given to those two men, the wet bandits, them and Kevin. Find out who was involved in the wet money story. Find out. And then as Mr. Conway mentioned a while ago, the drug. You have a situation where the largest land bust, 4.4 tons of cocaine found in Region 1. And we got to repeat it for emphasis, my brother and sisters. The commissioner of police was kept in the dark. The operation was DEA, the US people, the Customs Anti-Narcotics Unit of Guyana, and the Guyana Defense Force. And the man in charge of the force, Clifton Ikin, acting commissioner, extended squatter, was kept in the dark. And you know, older people remember, they got a group named Toots and the Maytals. They sang a song, In the Dark. I know Dudley can tell me, say I know a lot of songs and so on. In the dark, there is no light. In the dark, the commissioner, the man who sits in the commission of police, was kept in the dark. Why was he kept in the dark? It is generally felt, it is a belief that because they did not trust him to give him the information or to involve members of the Guyana police force. And you telling me that the man gonna turn, well, you're not telling me he's gonna turn the commissioner of police. He's gonna turn the commissioner of police. And let me tell you more too. Let me tell you more. Remember Mirai, retired assistant commissioner Mirai, said with a confrontation with the same man who they want to make commissioner now at a meeting at police headquarters in 2011 when Green confronted Mirai because there was an allegation that Mirai was trying to extort some sums of money from some man who was said to be involved in drugs. And Green decided he gonna upbraid Mirai at an admin meeting. And Mirai made the allegation. He said that you talking about me. You got your driver and a senior officer, and he pointed out the king. They're driving drug man vehicle into police compound. He said, look through the window there. You're going to see drug man vehicle, the PSC, person assistant to Green. And he said, Ikin, driving drug man. It is later said that Ikin admitted that he was driving this vehicle, but he did not know that the owner of the vehicle was involved in drugs. That is the man. That is the man. Right? That is the man. Then, well, I tell you, let me pause. I tell you, Dudley. Dudley is my friend from Jamaica. Old police. I know when I talk about in the dark, 2 centimeters. Dudley, let me put up what Dudley say, man. Dudley said, hey, Dudley said, of course, you know a lot of song. I am proud of you. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. I tell you, all people watching this program from all over. From all over. So, yeah, then you add, and I'm going to play the tape, you know. You add recently, Ikin, in the Brutus saga, admitted in writing, this is not something, and this is not an allegation, he admitted in writing that he took $8.5 million from a businessman. He said he counted the businessman bring $8.5 million Ghana dollars in an envelope and give it to him because he has this policy in order to motivate his officers where we reach out to stakeholders and friends. And he said one businessman gave him $8.5 million, which was used to finance the wedding of Brutus last year, November, at the Pegasus Hotel. 8.5. And I say, and any right-thinking person will tell you that is misconduct in public office. Barra Jagdeo, the vice president, shortly thereafter, made a statement of one of his rumblings where he said that the act, such an act, was what he said. Let me play the tape. Such an act was reprehensible. And he said the word twice. It was reprehensible. That's what Barra Jagdeo said, right? Reprehensible. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Said it was reprehensible. What has happened? What has happened? The man is going to be promoted. The man is going to be promoted to commissioner. And I said before, and I'm saying it again, given all that happened surrounding this Brutus saga, where Brutus, assistant commissioner, attorney at law, is now before the court facing 252 criminal charges. Brutus could not have committed all of those offenses that he has been alleged to have committed. Thieving money from the police, police consumer co-op, a 60 million, a 60-something million, a 60 million, and another 20 million. From the police finance office, from the police central welfare fund, two times amounting to 13-point-something million dollars. How is it that the second in command, the actual second in command, the de facto second in command in the force, can sit there and do all of this, and the man in charge and know? The man in charge and know. If he had no negligent, if he's not complicit, if he's not directly involved, then he is negligent. You get $500 million run-ins under you, and you sit down there and you know, and they're going to promote you. Let me bring in Mr. Conway while they look for this tape, and then we're going to come back. I'm sweating. The place still warm, so I'm sweating. See, let me hear you on some of the things I've said so far, man. I'm sure you have more to add. Go ahead.
Plenty more to add, you know. And we heard, and you hear anything about it? Hickinson, an illegal firearm that he discharged. Nothing about it. And I remember the Linden story. I remember Brummel was the commissioner, and the people had given notice that they have 1 week of protests. I was one time in charge of Linden, and due to my intelligence, I reported that that they're going to block the Wisma Bridge, that they're going to block it from the Wisma end. And I told Brummel, I say, hey, when he can come to this admin meeting, let him come with what you call a plan, how he's going to deal with the situation. The plan is that we use an acronym IIMAC. Your information, this I, your IIMAC, information, intention, method, administration, communication. How are you going to police that Linden story? And he came to the meeting. He didn't mention anything about his plan to deal with the situation. So I turned to Brummel and say, he can what me the plan? What me plan to deal with in writing what me plan? And he asked, can what me a plan, man, me talk? He can say, I get everything under control. If they misbehave, I gonna sort them out. And they were sorted out with deadly consequences. 3 persons died. When they had persons at that admin meeting who had experience in dealing with the situation, who could have given advice of how to deal with the situation, nothing came up. And let me give you some advice, things has happened, trends, pattern, history does repeat itself. We're talking about commissioners who were extended. Baron Rugby was extended and he ended up in serious financial issues where the GRA, he had to find a whole set of tax because he wasn't paying tax on certain business that he had. And then his class teacher, who was then President Desmond Knight, sent him away to India as High Commissioner. Larry Lewis, Deborah Bucker took him to court, and with breakneck speed, he had to demit office because he run to Rex McKay, and Rex McKay said, by you past 60, and you got to go home. We had Henry Green. Henry Green nearly ended up in a rape charge. Floyd McDonald was extended, and Floyd McDonald became the deadliest commissioner. He presided over the death of 26 policemen killed in the line of duty. We had Brummel extended, and then a certain man, I won't call his name, went to Ramutar, the president, and gave him some information, and Ramutar sent for Brummel, tell him he want to talk to him about his extension. And Brummel went in, and Ramutar said, come a commissioner, tell you what I extend you. And Ramutar watching him on the ceiling. He said, yes, commissioner. Yes, come a president. He said, well, by weekend, hand over to Silal Pusad. And he continued to watch on the roof. He didn't watch Brummel up to now. Brummel get up, salute him, left the office, and went back and made preparation, and he hand over the commissioner job to somebody else. But the thing is that you got to look at things, trends that happen, patterns. History will repeat itself. So he hustling, forget the commissioner work, for stay till after election, until after election could be 5 years after election. But things are likely to happen. You want the work, you might get a work, but you mightn't be able to take what coming from the work. So he has not displayed any kind of professional or academic attributes. to become a commissioner of police. No way. All he doing, and I mentioned before, is seagull management. You hear something wrong, you fly in, make a lot of noise, crop up and shit up on a set of people, and then go along your way. Fly in, make a set of noise, crop up and shit up on people and fly away, and then things remain the same. So me in a way fighting for commissioner. My advice for him, go along your way. Take what you get available and go along your way.
Yes. Listen, you're coming to spend a week and then you're going back. You're coming to spend. No. You're just going to spend 1 week because we are bringing up a team from the TS2. They're going to be working on the joint services. I think the problem they have up here, the police kind of. Look, I want to use the talk. Alright, I want to use the talk. So you're going to spend 1 week, clear up this whole place day and night, tumble up this whole place, lock up everybody, and back to them, right? No. 1 week or 7 days the most. If you go beyond 7 days, you're going to spend longer. If you finish before 7 days, you come down before 7 days, right?
Assuming that embattled Assistant Police Commissioner Calvin Brutus may have evidence of political interference and corruption at the highest office in Guyana, that would bring an already tainted image of the incumbent People's Progressive Party civic government into further disrepute, Barrett Jack Dio, the party's general secretary, who is also Guyana's vice president, has challenged Mr. Brutus to spill the beans.
No, but he could let out cats, dogs, pigs, anything that he has and he wants to let out, let him let it out.
In fact, Mr. Brutus recently filed an application in the High Court against Attorney General Anil Nandlal and Acting Police Commissioner Clifton Hicken. In that application, Mr. Brutus points to political interference in the Guyana Police Force. The senior cop told the court that Cabinet had a role in him being sent on leave. Mr. Jack Dio, however, seems unbothered by whatever secrets Mr. Brutus might have, calling it blackmail.
I think it's a form of blackmail. He's hoping that maybe there'd be fear in some quarters in the government that he could say something that's compromising to us.
The tough-talking General Secretary told media operatives on Thursday that the PPPC government has nothing to fear if it is true that Mr. Brutus has damning evidence against the government and the administration of the Guyana Police Force.
Whatever he has to let out, he could let out. He could say whatever he wants. We have no fear of whatever he wants to say. So let him say it. I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it at the appropriate time.
The Assistant Police Commissioner was on Thursday granted bail in the sum of $6.2 million on 30 indictable charges when he appeared before Acting Chief Magistrate Faith Magusti. The charges stemmed from allegations of financial impropriety in the Guyana Police Force. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News.
Sit there and fabricate that. Unless you say who the person is, I can't comment on anonymous people.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Su Jurong?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
Yes, he is a friend of ours.
He claims
Cordell Jones from Livewire News. There's been a lot of public consternation over large bank deposits being made by a senior police officer, with reports that another senior officer justified this in an affidavit. Is the government concerned about these developments?
So let me make it clear that there is no attempt to discriminate against anyone. I've seen recently a slew of social media people who are linked to the opposition, particularly the extreme ones, attempting to portray this issue as a race issue. But that's predictable. Let me make it clear what our policies are. We support the police force. We support the leadership of the police force. We support them to do their work, but they must comply with the laws of this country. The PPP will not tolerate corruption in the police force or anywhere else. And when we find corruption in the police force or anywhere else, there will be no attempt to cover it up. So if you believe that you have a special relationship with the government and that we will, pursuant to that relationship, cover up your misdeeds, you have it wrong. You don't know the PPP. When this matter surfaced, the opposition was saying that these individuals, or this particular individual, was linked to the government of Guyana. And they did not trust that there will be an impartial investigation. The AFC and the PNC called for external body to investigate because they believe that there will be a cover-up. We made it clear at that time that the investigations would be professional and there would be no interference from the executive to steer the investigation either way, and that the chips may fall where they may. I said those words. In the investigations, the impartial investigation, done by an arm of the police force, there is a recommendation that went to the DPP to lay multiple charges against the individual for breaches of the law. I see the particular individual now filing a constitutional motion claiming that somehow the executive, the same executive, that the PPP or the executive, is influencing the course of the investigation. APNU was saying something different. They were saying, we will help this individual. We'll cover up what he was doing. He is now saying we are influencing it to lay charges against him. We have no interest whatsoever in that. But if you did illegal things, you will face the consequences. And from all that I've read, that a lot of wrong things took place. A lot of illegalities took place. And so we will respond to the constitutional motion in court. And since some charges were made, trust me, our affidavit to respond to those charges may not be beneficial to the particular individual, because we will go into great details about what our findings were. In the procurement system, and so when he was heading the administration of the police force. So further, I don't want to say anything on the matter. And let me also make it clear here today that this government never sanctioned a policy where private individuals and businessmen could pay for the birthdays and weddings of policemen or other public officials. In fact, we think it's reprehensible. It's reprehensible. So that's all I'm going to say for today.
Guyana's acting commissioner of police Clifton Hicken today laid to rest claims that his deputy commissioner of police acting Calvin Brutus is on the investigation by the Special Organized Crime Unit. Hicken spoke with reporters on the sidelines of the first legal conference on criminal justice reform at the Marriott Hotel in Georgetown.
It's about Mr. Brutus and the multi-million dollar deposits. Is it true or not?
No, it's not true. And I made a release already through our system.
We didn't see that.
Yeah, I made a release. It's in the system. There's no investigation going on whatsoever.
And no deposits?
Nothing whatsoever. We know. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Brutus, who served as the force admin officer, was transferred to Special Branch, while Deputy Commissioner Provincial Dat Budram is now in charge of administration, while the head of the Special Branch, Assistant Commissioner Errol Watts, is now in charge of operations.
Technical difficulties. But let me get back to the king, you know. Same, so the man who they want to be extended, further extended as a commissioner of police. We had the issue in the Bahamas where a senior officer, not the second in command, a senior officer was arrested in connection with trafficking of cocaine. The commissioner there addressed the nation, and shortly after he resigned. And we had also the Archbishop of Canterbury, the most senior Anglican, recently retired and resigned because, according to him, he failed to properly supervise report of sexual behavior by misconduct by one of his priests. And here we have all sort of things going on in the Ghana police force. You heard the second vice president. He mentioned all sort of things that happen in procurement, the illegal activities, and all those things that he mentioned. And Hicken is still there, high and dry. But more about Hicken in another episode. Now, I read Kaiser News this morning, and it mentioned that over 8,000 cases, the police have made over 8,000 cases for December alone. It given the impression that the police are doing well. But let me give you a quote from So Robert Peel, who is considered the father of modern day policing. And he said, the test of police effectiveness is the absence of crime and disorder, not visible evidence of police activity in dealing with these problems. Here we have now, that wasn't crime, but in the traffic situation, we have the traffic chief giving figures that over 8,000 cases were made during December. Did he properly evaluate it? Did it have an impact on the traffic situation? We still having chaos. We still having confusion. We still having fatal accidents. We still having damage accidents. We still having minor accidents. We still having serious accidents on our roads. The situation has not changed. So to come and tell us that you made 8,000 cases to make us feel that you're doing well, you're not doing well. You've got to do deeper analysis and see whether or not the action that you are taking is really working, whether there is anything positive coming out of that. And then when we look at the cases, traffic ticket, who pays traffic ticket now? I did my own research, and my own research say in excess of 50% don't turn up. They don't turn up. And magistrate don't do ex parte trial. And let me tell you the traffic ticket situation. They like to talk here, we issue so much a traffic ticket. A ticket is issued to somebody, a defaulter. The person is told, hey, you have 14 days in which to attend court or you're going to pay the fine. If at the end, the police has got to check now and see whether or not the person has paid the ticket. If the person didn't pay anything, the police has got to relay a complaint to the magistrate. And the magistrate will then, and the matter will be called before the magistrate. If the defendant does not appear, you can have what we call an ex parte trial, where the case would be tried behind his back. And at the end of it, the magistrate will rule, fine X amount of dollars and to pay within X amount of time. And if the person doesn't pay within that time, a warrant would be issued and the police would issue the warrant. But no magistrate and doing ex parte trial. All the cases banking up. No ex parte trial is being done. So the fear of being caught for violation, the fear of being convicted for violation is not there. I read a book sometime a year ago called by Alistair McLean, Fear is the Key. There is no fear that person will be caught violating traffic and would be convicted. And also, they're not addressing the big one, the elephant or the jaguar in the room. Corruption, the big C. Corruption. Look at the learner driver's package. They're doing both theory and practical. The theory is being conducted wholly and solely, exclusively by Zaro. You know, Zaro built a lot of computer centers across the country, assisting the police. And I don't know if based on that, but the theory is done online with Zaro, person from Zaro doing the examination, the written examination. And there's no checks and balances on Zaro. No integrity testing going on. No anti-corruption being going on. Perhaps Zaro personnel, they are paragons of virtue. Somebody got to check with Zaro. My information is a lot of things going on. And there's something called computer fraud. So persons getting their letter that they pass the theoretical examination when they can do anything. And we go on to the practical now. The practical examination. As I know it, the order is that whenever practical examinations are being done by the certifying officer, a list is submitted to the commander indicating the names of the persons who have registered to do the practical examination. And the commander will appoint someone to supervise that exam, that practical, together with the certifying officer. This is done morally in the breach. If you check the among the persons doing the practical examinations, small amount, and then when you go to GR, just go to GRA and listen or observe. GRA is bombarded because when you finish the practical examination, the certified officer will give you what I call a competence, which you will take to GRA to have your license process. Very few doing the practical, but when you go to GRA full up with people who get competent, who are there with their competent to get their license. Here again, no checks and balances, no integrity testing, no anti-corruption operations is going on. I'll always talk, and I will repeat it, that all has got to be involved in this traffic situation. The commanders got to play a role in it. Don't leave it to the traffic chief, or don't leave it to the traffic man. A role the commander has got to play in this situation. Remember, in Barbies, when I just went to West Coast Barbies, I discovered that Barbies, West Coast Barbies, are the brightest people in terms of the practical, the theoretical examination, a pass rate of 90-something%. And I put some systems in place. And very shortly afterwards, the average was in the 60s. The average was in the 60s. And I used to make sure, I say, hey, these examination people must not sleep at Fort Wellington Police Station. They must come to me in New Amsterdam. So I'm making the point is that the commanders have got to be involved in this traffic situation, more so the driver's license program. I remember also I discovered that ranks at Springlands are the best drivers in the country. If 10 people apply to do the practical, all 10 will pass. And I told the certifying officer, say, hey, no. Don't send no 100% thing and give me. I'm not taking no 100%. No way, no 100%. And he told people that he is a certifying officer, not a commander. The commander can't give nobody no license. And only he, as a certifier, could give people license. I sent for him because I discovered that the return coming 100%. I know I couldn't give people any driver license, but I know as commander, I had the authority and I transfer him to Oriella Police Station, 60 miles up the Quarantine River. As I go there and certify the boats. Young vehicle for certified, so certify the boats. He said, so give me a couple of months more now it's Springland. I said, no, if I give you a couple of months more, I might find you floating in the Quarantine River, or I might find you dead somewhere on the road because apparently, like, you're taking the people money to give them drivers license. So the thing is that the traffic is a serious situation, and unless we have a holistic approach towards it, things will go haywire. Just hold a while, please. Hello. Hello. Hi.
Right, I get on back now at last.
Yeah. Yes, I hear you.
I had some serious technical difficulties. So you can, I know you're talking, I was hearing you,
Yeah.
but I couldn't get on. So, folks, my apologies for not being able to get on. CC, you did an excellent job. I was hearing you all the time. But I couldn't get on to communicate with the audience. So what we're going to do now, I asked that you give your closing remarks, and then we are going to wrap up for today.
All right. And I sticking on my closing remarks. I'm talking about them Amerindian police, those recruits who are going to go in training at Adventure in Borbies, and who are presently now doing an excellent job in terms of Christmas policing in New Amsterdam. The footwear, they have to buy the footwear $7,000 from a police corporal station at Ivlery. The government's supposed to supply them with footwear free of cost. But there's it. The Amerindians and some others who are on training at Adventure on the quarantine had to spend $7,000 to purchase their footwear that they are using to perform duties. I hope that before Christmas, that action be taken, that they be refunded their money, and action be taken against the corporal who is fronting from a senior officer. And I have the name of the corporal, I have his photograph, I have his cell number. I hope that action will be taken to correct this corruption that is going on. And corruption starts with simple things, and then it might end up to 252.
Yeah, it might end up to 252. Folks, again, my apologies for being absent, but as some people are saying that Denise and these people, CC did a fantastic job, and I expect nothing less, right? Because we know that he's very, very competent. I had some technical issues, and I was able to go around it. So here I am now. And as I can say, as I close, I want to again wish all of you season's greetings. Next Wednesday is Christmas Day. Christmas Day, right? What a wonderful day. My time of the year, And I can make sure I get my ginger beer, my garlic pork, my black cake, my pepper pot, all of those things. And I'm going to take my toops and I'm going to enjoy. Nothing will prevent me from enjoying my Christmas. Once the good Lord spare my life to see it, I am going to enjoy it. I am, and I tell you, I am asking you to make sure you enjoy, relax. It's a Christmas day for children. You got children, you got grandchildren, make sure they have a good time. But then again, I say Christmas is just one day. So don't spend all that you have. And then the next thing you know, they normally tell you that January is guava season. Because you spend out all the money, Christmas Day and for the New Year's. And then later down in January month, you get a problem. Because one of the things to with January is that on December for Christmas, you get paid early. Most public servants would have gotten paid already. And then when you got to wait now until payday in January, which is a longer period between paydays, people can struggle. So remember, spend, enjoy yourself, but do it in moderation. That is all I want to tell you. Do it in moderation. And as we're on to the thing, you see the thing is being scrolled there. Again, we wish to thank those of you who have made contributions to the upkeep of this program, and to tell you, ask all students, right, to make a little contribution so that we can keep doing what we are doing to bring you the credible, valuable information. People in the UK and other places have reached out to me to find out how they can make contributions. We are trying to work around that because right now it's only Zelle and Cash App, and those facilities are not available in the UK and elsewhere. So those people who want to make contribution are unable to do so. But pile up the thing, pile up. So when we come and we are able to give a platform that you can make a contribution, you have something to contribute. Somebody said March is the real guava season. Well, now, Toro, how things going on now is every month is guava season, Guyana. What aren't you? Where you live, man? Every month is guava season, our time, every month. The people getting difficulty to make ends meet. Folks, it was good being with you here again this morning. As it stands now, our next scheduled program is Monday, God's Spare Life. And, we get a lot of work to do. So, Barlet and the others, don't come and tell me about Friday. I got household chores to undertake, and I'm not going to neglect those chores, right? So, we have other things to do. But if they get any shattering news, who knows? We might come. That is why we encourage you to subscribe to the channel, so you're going to get notification if we have to come at an unscheduled time. Again, season's greetings to all of you. As I've said, the next scheduled program is Monday, but who knows? If we have to come before that, we will. And all I want to say to you now is to be safe. I saw something with some gas bottle blow up some house somewhere in Guyana. Comrades, you got to be extremely safe. Be careful. Whether you're on the road, whether you're in your home, fires and all of these things are frequent these days. Be safe, and God's Spare Life. We will meet you here again on Monday for another episode of Speaking Out, Exposing Corruption and Incompetence. Until then, stay well. Bye.